Ghana will be worse off under Mahama, according to Professor Stephen Adey. Pro VC defends UPSA VC, and Adokufo clocks 80. A very, very happy birthday to you, sir.
Yeah, 80 years. That's not easy. Yeah. Anyway, the Daily Graphic says NDC has proven leadership record. That's according to John Mahama, and Parliament approves $3.2 million tax waiver on mathematical sets. That reminds me of JHS.
I know, right?
And, child trafficking lingers despite laws against practice. 3 rescued in Afram Plains, and something that I'm so much interested in. Also on the back page, Department of Urban Roads begin mending of Accra roads, and Ministry of Food and Agriculture restricts sale of fertilizers in 5 regions.
On the front page of the Daily Statesman, another story generated from the Super Morning Show yesterday, our interview with Professor Stephen Adey. Don't return JDM to presidency. Professor Adey warns Ghana will be worse off under Mahama. Government procures 1,300 outboard motors for fisher folk in coastal zone, and NDC PC busted for voter registration fraud.
All right, so the New Crusading Guide also, talks about that particular interview with Professor Stephen Adey yesterday. And it says, Mahama not fit for president again, Professor Adey. And mining pits are killing us, Kwabing chief cries out. Pokiasi grabs new Jase chair. And give us justice, Kojo Boachi family pleased with President AG. And finally, Busumtri chief warns COVID-19 protocol breakers.
All right, well, congratulations to Angela Tremantin-Jima, who has been appointed as the first African and female regional head by IBM. That story on the front page of The Finder. Ivory Coast Vice President Daniel Kablan-Duncan resigns. May Allah bless your good work, Chief Imam tells Baumia. And over 4.4 million voters registered with Greater Accra, like I said, leading the pack.
So we are still not part of the 4.4 million. Could you anywhere? We're still not part
the 3 of us
are not part of the 4.4 million. Anyway, let me get to the Business and Financial Times. And IBM appoints Angela Tremantin-Jimo as first African and female regional head for Africa. Government directs state-owned enterprises to cut down budgets, but economists argues against move could be counterproductive. Use borrowed monies for productive activities, AFDB tells Africa. And Electoral Commission measures to curb and prevent the spread of COVID-19. And COVID-19 pushes a Registrar General to halt a penalty increase. Okay, that's it.
This is the online review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. Going cashless has never been this convenient and exciting. The Goyle e-payment system is now compatible with GH-Link, the national payment platform. So now you can use your GH-Link card on Goyle point-of-sale machines to purchase fuel. So it means every time you purchase fuel, it'll be recorded automatically on your monthly bank statement, helping cardholders track and manage their expenses. So go ahead and use your GH-Link card to buy fuel at all Goyle filling stations. You can buy lubricants with it as well from any of the over 400 stations across Ghana. So go cashless and protect yourself and stick to all the COVID-19 protocols in these times. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yenze. MyJoyOnline.com has Udati Lamte's ex-wife ordered by court to move out of East Legon property as she loses appeal. 55 test positive for COVID-19 at Accra Girls SHS, according to the government. 55. How candidates bought votes in NPP primary parliamentary primaries is also here. And you came too late. Last words of dying KNUST SHS student to mother. That's heartbreaking. That's what it is. City Newsroom has these. Students can contract COVID-19 at home too. Closing schools not advisable. That's Dr. Okuboy, the Deputy Health Minister. $3.2 million tax waiver for math sets, not a loss of income to Ghana. That's Sibe Yabua's argument. Ibrahim Mahama is suing Chairman Woon to me. And I always help people. Corruption Watch expose against me unfair. That's Farouk Mahama's claim. And that's the son of the former Vice President Aliyu Mahama. All right, CNN has America shuts down again, choosing reality over Trump's false claims. Certain states going against what Donald Trump keeps harping on about. And on BBC Africa, Mali's opposition leaders freed amid unrest. That's it.
Okay. So we're going straight into what's going on with the education sector and COVID-19. So yesterday there was a media release, a joint statement from the Ghana Education Service and the Ghana Health Service, and it was an update on confirmed cases of COVID-19 in some senior high schools in Ghana. So it says that as of 13th July 2020, a total of 314 persons, students and staff from the school have been tested, and this is Accra Girls Senior High School, which has recorded the most cases from the first report to date. Now, out of the 314 that were tested, 55 have been confirmed positive for COVID-19, while 259 persons tested negative. And then this goes on to talk about the actions that have been taken so far, including the identification and segregation of contacts from other students, sample collection, and the fact that all confirmed cases have been transferred to designated national treatment and isolation centers, restriction of number of students that go to the dining hall at a particular time, enforcement of social distancing, disinfection of the entire school, provision of PPEs, education on COVID-19 prevention and control, counseling and psychological support. The school apparently has also designated a quarantine and isolation center. Parents and guardians of affected students have been contacted, and the staff of the schools have been reassured. Similarly, this release says a few other schools have reported sporadic cases which have not experienced a surge. So to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in senior high schools, similar measures are being implemented across. Now, the Ghana Education Service, working with the Ghana Health Service, wishes to inform parents, guardians, and the general public that efforts are being made to ensure the safety of our staff and students. But not everybody is buying into this press release.
Certainly, not everybody is buying into all of this, because the opposition NDC yesterday, when they addressed the press, its communication officer Sami Jemfi, and in a story that's on My Joy online, you could actually check that. It will say that the opposition NDC is urging parents to take the awards out of the various schools to protect them against COVID-19. Now, according to the NDC, President Akufo-Addo's decision to reopen schools despite the increase in COVID-19 is a clear indication of where his interest lies. And they accuse the president of reopening schools for political interest, and not because they just want the students to go to school and sit for the WASSCE exam, citing the example of Nigeria that has decided to not write the examinations this year, Kenya that has postponed the academic year to 2021. And so, one, they want the schools closed, but if that is not being done, then the parents should be going for the awards from the schools.
Okay, we need to give it a little bit of global perspective as well. When COVID-19 became a pandemic, almost every country, in fact virtually every country in the world, shut down schools. Very few countries have reopened schools since. Okay, very few of them. Taiwan reopened schools with some very strict requirements. Denmark reopened schools in enclaves. Very strange thing. In New South Wales in Australia, they opened schools first at 1 day a week, then they tried a little bit more, and they haven't even still reopened fully. Now, Hong Kong is the example I wanted to mention just before we go. In Hong Kong, they reopened because they had got community control over the virus. But as soon as they got 52 more cases, they shut down the schools. Ghana, we have 50 cases in one school, and the school is still open. Anyway, we want to know what you think, okay? We've heard from the two sides, but what do you think? If you're a parent, do you want to go for your kids? Do you think your kids are safer in school? The president assured us that our children will be safe in school. He assured us of that. So do you feel that that assurance is enough? Are your children safe? Call us 0302-216-541, 0244-340-437. We'd love to hear your voice. But here is a parent whose child, a day student, was forced to become a boarder because of final exams, went to school, and died.
17-year-old business student Sam Leonard Richards died after a video shows he was left in the care of his colleagues for 3 hours after complaining of severe stomach pains. His mother, Madame Comfort Bedu, tells me she allowed him to go to the boarding house because of the assurance by government and school authorities he would be protected.
As my parents no be in school, ambulance.
We were told that the president has directed that all parents should stay away from the school. They said ambulance and nursing services will be provided for sick students. A visibly sad and angry mother describes her last moments with her son. I ran through the streets and alleys of Dr. Mensah in the dark, falling and rising to my feet. He was so weak when I finally met him at the hospital. He told me, "Mama, you came too late." I said, "Mama, they didn't call me early enough. If they knew, they couldn't help my son. They should have told me."
Let's talk to Godwin in Adenta. Good morning, Godwin.
Good morning.
Talk to me. How do you feel about your are you a parent, first of all?
Not yet a parent.
Okay. How do you feel about the children being in school? Are they safer there or safer at home?
Right, Master Kojo. I thank you, and then I want to say good morning to your listeners as well. But what I want to say is that we were in this country that our presidents came out and said they are able to bring it back, but life, they are not having the capacity to bring it back when someone loses it. Now, he allowed the students to go back to school. Nothing is wrong about that. But now that the lives are destroying, what does he, supposed to do? What he needs to do is to tell us again that what he said is stand by it. So let the students go back when the pandemic is being, held. They will go back to the school again. But now he's quiet over everything. Doesn't mean that the certificates cannot be written or gotten later. But now that is something that you can bring back.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for calling. Jake is next. Hello, Jake. Good morning. Jake, can you turn off the radio, please, and just listen to me on your phone, okay? Hi, good morning, Jake.
Good morning, Kodo.
Thank you for calling us.
You're most welcome. How are you doing?
I'm very well. It's good to hear from you.
All right, good to be on the show. Kodo, this morning I have a concern. The concern is that looks like you media people are encouraging the NDC to continue to engage in such buffoonery. The NDC appears to be politicizing every single thing in this country. COVID-19, registration, almost everything. Previously, when political parties engage in such politicization, it is media houses like Joy997FM, the likes of Komadumo. These are the people that put politicians on their toes, stretching them. Unfortunately, we have a situation where the media itself is engaging in such buffoonery. Stinking politics almost every day. It's as if the survival of the media is tied to the NPP losing an election in this country. I think we have to rethink the way we do things in this country and take our listeners, seriously. Every morning you tune into radio station, and it's as if our shows must be skewed in such a way that we put the government in a tight corner. And that's what we do almost every day, from news file to AM show to whatever. And sometimes I wonder whether this is the kind of media we have experienced all this while. I think it's quite distasteful. And I think you guys have to rethink the way you do your thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. And let's speak to Paul in Who. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. For you.
Yes, Paul. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Good. Your line is a bit faint, Paul.
Can you hear me?
Barely. We can barely hear you. But go ahead.
Yeah. The last caller just really surprised me with his comments. It's amazing. But I'm not going to bother him. Kojo, Akufo-Addo reminds me of Idi Amin, really, of Uganda. This is crazy that we have a president who has no human feeling whatsoever. But I see, Kojo, it's strange the last caller tried to blame the media for the president being criticized. Really. I rather blame you, the media, for not putting pressure on the president, because when this whole thing started, if you, the media, especially Joy997FM, the way you used to do under other regimes, put pressure on this government, because you have given this government so much free room to operate. They are left off the hook on everything. And they have put the whole, this man, Akufo-Addo, has put the whole nation in a mess. And we are sitting there aloof. Nobody is talking. And you have a professors, so-called professors, spewing rubbish in defense of this government.
Well, thank you for sharing, and please temper your language a little bit, okay? We'd want to hear your views, okay? But not the untempered language. All right. Do we have time for another call? Yes. Hello. Who's on the line?
Yeah. Good morning, College.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling from Canada. Yeah, I'm Ahmed.
Ahmed, it's good to speak to you.
Yeah.
Ahmed.
Yeah. And my concern is, I have a few questions that I want to post. And that is, what happens when they record the court cases and DICO and then judiciary? And also, what then is that we our children in the school record the cases of COVID-19, and yet government doesn't want to do anything about it. And the reason the reason is that because their selfish interest that is put in place, that's why they don't want to bring down the schools. You know, what happened? You know, they said when our students are in school, parents are not to go there and visit them. So now people outside, not parents, are going to school to register our case. And we know that people who are going there. So at least, you know, we should focus on this children rather than focusing on this our registration. So government should do something to the problem, because I am saying that the schools must close down because the children, the teachers are not safe.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for sharing. Thanks to all of you who have called us. We appreciate it very much. The BBC News is up next, brought to you by Fidelity Bank, Believe With Us, and Aquintio. Are you shopping international stores online and having difficulty in payments and delivery? No need to worry. Aquintio has got you sorted. Send and receive items with Aquintio. Aquintio, you just list it. We will deliver.
Star 442 hash is the new mobile banking formation in town. It's simple, convenient, quick, and safe for all your banking transactions, such as mobile money transactions, funds transfer, data or airtime purchase, etc. All you need is Star 442 hash. It is banking anywhere, everywhere on your terms. Just dial Star 442 hash and enjoy your purple experience on mobile. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
Bro, I feel your ride. It's so smooth. You know, this vehicle runs on Gold Super XP Run 95, loaded with additives. Gold Super XP Run 95. Expensive, right? Not at all. Gold Super XP Run 95 is of higher grade, but sold at the same price as the regular fuel. No extra cost. It is designed to burn slowly, improves fuel economy, keeps engines clean from carbon deficits, and gives less vibration. All that at the same price as regular fuel? Absolutely. With Gold Super XP Run 95, no driver needs to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil, good energy. Remember the exciting goals? The cool hangouts, the lit parties, and the warm hugs.
Now we're in a new normal. We wear face masks, use sanitizer, and keep our distance even in a trotro. Social distancing. No matter the season, Enterprise Life is here with you to give you an advantage in life. So go on, live your life and dream big with us. Download the Enterprise Advantage app today from the Play Store or App Store to sign up for a customized policy or access your statement and more. You can also talk to a life planner or your insurance broker today.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Coming up after the news, it's People Fixing the World with me, Daniel Gordon. And we'll be catching up with some of the solutions we've told you about in the past. There's an app that helps the emergency services find you when disaster strikes.
I decided that, you know what, I need help. I can't get out of this. And that was the point where it was just an absolute lightning strike, light bulb moment, remembering that I had this app.
During the coronavirus pandemic, it's also helped ambulance crews deliver patients to field hospitals. And another app's been updated to help in the current crisis too. It links volunteers with the people most at risk.
I've been doing some shopping for people, for getting food and things for the vulnerable. I have also been a taxi driver, effectively, for people that need to shield and aren't able to use public transport.
That's all after the BBC News.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. Sweeping restrictions have been reintroduced in California as the state battles to contain a resurgence of coronavirus. But on the east coast of the United States, New York City, which in April had one of the highest COVID-19 death rates in the world, recorded no new fatalities from the disease for the first time in 4 months. California, however, has seen a 20% rise in infections in the last 2 weeks, having lifted a statewide lockdown in May. Dr. Robert Wachter is from the University of California, San Francisco.
It was appropriate to begin easing the restrictions. We were doing so well, and things seemed under control. And so the restrictions were eased, but I think people took that as the starting gun for changing the behavior too much. So yes, people were allowed to go out and around, but they were supposed to be wearing masks. They were supposed to be keeping their distance. They were supposed to be avoiding large crowds. And I think too many people got a little bit complacent.
Official statistics show the British economy grew slightly by 1.8% in May with the easing of the coronavirus lockdown, when some sectors such as manufacturing, construction and a small range of retailers were allowed to reopen. The BBC's Sean Farrington says growth was less than the 5% predicted by economists.
There were some expectations it might have been a little bigger than that, so some may be disappointed by that figure. When you look at what grew in May and what contributed to the economy recovering slightly, it was manufacturing, it was the house building sector showed a little bit of sign of recovery.
Singapore's economy shrank at an annual rate of more than 40% between April and June as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, tipping the country into recession. Here's Mariko Oi.
I think it's fair to say that a recession was rather inevitable because, especially because this is the quarter when we were in the midst of that strict lockdown. But as you said, a 41% contraction was the biggest on record, and it is expected to be the worst recession for the country since independence from the UK in 1965. Because it's one of the first countries to release growth data for that particular period, I guess this provides a glimpse of how the ongoing pandemic could affect economies around the world.
China has described the primaries held by Hong Kong's pro-democracy parties as a serious provocation, which may have broken the new security law it's imposed on the territory. A spokesman for Beijing's liaison office condemned the opposition for ignoring the Hong Kong government's warning of possible legal breaches and pressing ahead with the choosing of candidates for September's elections to the Legislative Council. Hong Kong's chief executive